to play Lancelot in Mobile Legends. As many players already know, Lancelot is one of the heroes with the most difficult mechanics in the game. He has absurd mobility thanks to a kit entirely focused on dashes, allowing for fast, aggressive, and highly technical plays. In addition, Lancelot deals extremely high damage and has complete immunity on his second skill and his ultimate, making him one of the strongest and most feared assassins in Mobile Legends. In today's video, I'll explain in a simple and clear way how Lancelot's passive works, go through each of his skills, show essential combos, and, at the end, present some builds and tips to maximize your gameplay with this true, charming prince of Mobile Legends. Passive. Lancelot's passive is simple, yet extremely effective. Every time he dashes forward, his damage is increased by 7.5% for 4 seconds, stacking up to a maximum of 30%. Since almost Lancelot's entire kit is based on dashes, this passive has perfect synergy with the hero. By properly stacking this passive during teamfights, Lancelot becomes capable of bursting down mages and marksmen in just a few seconds. Skill 1. This ability is basically a dash, but with a mechanic that makes all the difference. In addition to dealing physical damage that scales with total physical attack, Lancelot applies a mark to the first unmarked enemy hit, which lasts for 3 seconds. When you hit an unmarked enemy, the skill's cooldown is reset, allowing multiple consecutive dashes. However, if you use this skill on an already marked enemy and fail to hit another unmarked target, or miss entirely, the skill will go on cooldown, which is quite long. Because of this, it's extremely important to aim this skill carefully instead of just tapping it. This is one of Lancelot's main sources of mobility, allowing him to quickly stack his passive and reach the enemy backline with ease. Skill 2. This skill is undoubtedly what makes Lancelot so feared. He performs 3 strikes in a triangular area, becoming completely untargetable throughout the entire animation. Each strike deals physical damage that scales with total physical attack and applies 20% slow for 0.5 seconds, with the slow stacking based on the number of hits received. The skill's area is divided into zones, and for the enemy to receive all 3 hits, they must be positioned in the center of the skill. In that case, the target suffers up to 60% slow. This is Lancelot's main source of damage and survivability. Practice the positioning of this skill carefully, as missing it during a fight can easily result in death. Thanks to the immunity, it can be used both offensively and defensively. Ultimate. As expected, Lancelot's ultimate is also a dash. He charges in a designated direction, dealing physical damage to all enemies in his path, scaling with total physical attack, while remaining completely untargetable during the dash. Due to its high damage, this ability is perfect for finishing enemies quickly and efficiently. With his passive fully stacked, this ultimate is capable of eliminating even some tankier heroes with relative ease. Additionally, it also serves as an excellent escape tool, since its range is quite long, and allows for quick repositioning in dangerous situations. Combos. Lancelot has virtually an infinite number of combos thanks to his highly mobile kit, but everything revolves around his passive. As we know, his damage increases as he uses dashes, which come from his first skill and his ultimate. His second skill, however, does not count as a dash, and therefore does not stack his passive. The simplest combo, and the one I most recommend for beginners, is to start with the first skill to reach the enemy. Use the second skill to deal damage while becoming untargetable, and finish with the ultimate. It is essential to hit an unmarked target with the first skill to reset its cooldown. When done correctly, Lancelot gains an extra dash, which can be used either to engage or disengage, depending on the situation. If there are minions or jungle monsters nearby, you can use them to stack Lancelot's passive more quickly, since they are easier targets to hit. Entering a fight with the passive fully stacked greatly increases his damage output, especially his ultimate. Another very effective combo is focused on eliminating squishier or poorly positioned targets. In this case, you should start with the ultimate. Follow up with the first skill, use the second skill, and then retreat using the first skill again. Although this combo sacrifices some ultimate damage, it is one of the best ways to reach the enemy backline safely. This combo can also be adjusted by using the second skill immediately after the ultimate. Doing so allows you to use the first skill twice, providing even more mobility and safer escape options. These are some simple and effective combos recommended for beginners. With time and practice, you will be able to execute a wide variety of combos almost automatically. Lancelot is a very difficult hero to master, but with dedication and practice, you can fully unlock his potential. Build and emblems. Lancelot is a hero focused on burst damage, but at the same time extremely fragile. Because of this, choosing the right items makes all the difference to fully unlock his potential without completely sacrificing survivability. War Axe is an essential item for Lancelot, as it provides extra sustain through its passive, along with cooldown reduction, which is extremely valuable especially in the mid and late game, where constant skill usage is crucial. Endless Battle is also almost mandatory in any build. It offers a combination of attributes that synergize perfectly with Lancelot's playstyle, such as bonus damage, lifesteal, cooldown reduction, and movement speed. If you need more burst damage, Blade of Despair combined with Malefic Roar forms a devastating combo, allowing you to eliminate squishy targets in seconds and deal significant damage even to tankier heroes. Due to Lancelot's low durability, defensive items like Brute Force Breastplate and Queen's Wings are extremely useful. They provide solid survivability without heavily reducing Lancelot's offensive potential, making him much safer during fights. The most recommended emblem for Lancelot is the Assassin emblem. As for talents, the best choices are Thrill in the first slot, Seasoned Hunter in the second, and Killing Spree in the last, ensuring more damage, jungle efficiency, and sustain after takedowns. The only truly viable battle spell for Lancelot is Retribution, since his most effective and consistent role is in the jungle. These are some recommended builds, especially for beginners. Feel free to use them as a base and adapt them according to your playstyle or the specific needs of each match. Tips to improve your gameplay with Lancelot. Lancelot is a hero heavily focused on the late game and relies a lot on items to reach his full finishing potential. Because of that, it's essential to maintain good farming and safe positioning during the early game. Be very careful with enemy invades in the first few minutes, as his early damage is relatively low compared to other assassins, making him an easy target for certain fighters and tanks in the jungle. His first skill is his main source of mobility and must be used wisely. Avoid using it twice in a row on the same enemy, as doing so will leave you with almost no escape options, relying only on your ultimate. The same rule applies when farming the jungle or clearing waves. Only use the skill if you are sure you can secure a kill. Otherwise, it's not worth it, since the cooldown is quite long. Whenever possible, use minions and jungle monsters to stack your passive and reach enemies faster. This may feel difficult at first, but with practice, it becomes natural. The second skill is Lancelot's main source of damage throughout the match. It's highly recommended to always aim this skill instead of just tapping it randomly. Missing it often means losing a huge amount of damage in fights. Whenever possible, try to position the enemy in the center of the skill to fully benefit from its damage and slow. Of course, this won't always be possible, and that's completely normal. Remember that this skill is also your primary defensive tool, thanks to the immunity during its execution. Against heroes with burst damage, timing this skill correctly is essential to survive. Since Lancelot is a very fragile assassin, any crowd control effect can be enough for the enemy team to instantly take him down. His ultimate is an extremely powerful tool, mainly because of its high damage. Whenever possible, prioritize using it when your passive is fully stacked. This makes the damage devastating, allowing you to easily eliminate targets like mages and marksmen. Of course, this won't always be possible, but it's an important tip to keep in mind. You can also use the ultimate defensively, as it grants immunity and has a fairly long range, making it great for escaping dangerous situations. As Lancelot, your main goal in a match is to eliminate enemy carries, especially mages and marksmen. Doing so gives your team a huge advantage. By maintaining good farming and proper positioning in the early game, these targets become much easier to eliminate later on, thanks to the high damage provided by your kit. And that's the video. I truly hope it helped, and I'd like to thank everyone who watched until the end. If this kind of content is helping you, check out the playlist dedicated exclusively to tutorials. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you won't miss the upcoming videos. Thank you so much for the support, and see you in the next video.